Hello, my name is Matt Kelton. I am Chief Operating Officer with Showhomes, and I am excited to share a webinar to give you a better understanding of what our franchise is all about. And so on this webinar today, we will go over the brief history of Showhomes. We'll get into the revenue streams, how you make money. We'll talk about why you would want to buy a franchise, the support, the systems, the tools, the startup costs, and really next steps. And so the goal is to give you just an overall better understanding at a high level of what we're about. Can you envision yourself doing this and becoming part of the Showhomes family, and learning more about next steps? And so a couple of things in this slide before we jump in. Showhomes is focused on the top 20% of home values. And so we're really looking at staging and offering services to the luxury market. And not that we don't offer services to lower price homes, but our niche is on the higher end. And the other piece here is the staffing and what it takes to get a company really to the next level. And so you'll start with at least 2 full-time people. If you look at the lower right-hand corner, a couple in Chicago. We have a lot of husband-wife teams or partners, but you need at least 2 full-time people, 80 hours a week. And then if you look at the upper left-hand corner, that's a team that's been around for 12 years in Charleston, South Carolina. And so some of these are part-time people, but the end goal is we want you to build $1 million plus business, something that's scalable. Well, you're going to have stagers and designers and operations team. And again, that's one of the big differentiators. There's a business with a lot of mom and pops, solo stagers, hobbyists. And so we're looking for a company, someone who's interested in building $1 million profitable business. So there have been lots of surveys on the most stressful things in life, and selling a home is in the top 10. And besides death of a family member or illness, selling a home is one of the top 5. And so that's really, our why is how can we make that stressful experience more pleasant? And so we do that through our unique services. And so staging has become a hot category. There are a lot of statistics and data on why it works. And, I can tell you from experience of my own, after working many years at Showhomes, I finally sold my personal home. It sold in the same day for like 30 grand over list price. And I became a believer, even, on a personal level, because it definitely does work. And we are an essential business. COVID has really impacted a lot of businesses out there. So, one of the positives about what we do is, essentially one of the core elements of life, food and shelter. Shelter is something that's obviously essential, but we're also seeing a shift in how people live. They're going to be spending more time in their homes. They're going to be working from home. And so, the housing market is extremely hot, and staging is as hot as it's been ever. And really the way we buy homes is different. I can recall when I bought my first house years ago, we used a realtor, and she felt like she drove us around for like 8 hours, and she showed us what she wanted to. Today, we're in control as the buyer. And so realtor.com, Zillow, people spend huge amounts of time looking for properties. And if your home is not properly staged, if it's not updated, if it looks amateurish, you're at a huge disadvantage, especially for other homes in your neighborhood. So our history, Showhomes started in the 1980s with a really unique concept called home management, which I'll go through in a little while. But we started franchising in 94. We help homeowners, realtors, and builders sell around $1 billion a year in real estate. We have around 60 locations in 18 states. It is a very fragmented industry. We're the largest player on a national level. And our goal is to honestly only have around 150 to 200 locations when we're fully mature. So I want to walk you through our 4 core revenue streams. So vacant home staging is our biggest revenue stream, at around 55-60% of our total volume. And so this is where we'll go into a home that's for sale, that is sitting empty. And when you look at this photo, A lot of people just see, something that is sitting empty, it's cold, and you see the flaws. There's a cable sticking out of the wall. You'll see holes in the wall, dust in corners. And then there have been surveys where people will walk through a vacant home and they'll spend like 10 minutes and then we'll also stage it like this, and they'll spend around 2 hours. And so that's really the end goal. Can we help you visualize it? Only around 10% of people can actually visualize a vacant home staged. And so what we do is we bring in, the latest on trend inventory. We're going to bring in lots of accessories and really make it look like a model property. And over time, you're going to build a team. And this is a location that's been around for 12 years. And so you can see, they've got a clearly really talented group. And that's what we're going to bring in. People who are trained, who are certified, who can really be the go-to stagers and work with realtors and builders in their local communities. So the next thing we do is it's called home restyles. That's occupied staging. And so there's a difference in decorating and making a home look warm and with a lot of your personal things in it versus staging. And so I'll tell you, this looked very much like my parents' house in the 1980s when I was growing up in junior high and high school. And so this is the same property. This is one in Philadelphia. And you can see most people have too much stuff. And so again, we took out most of their things. We brought in a few of our own furniture stagings. And this is a property that was on the market for 300 days and we sold it like in a week. Now, home updates is, the third of our services, and that's really probably what's growing the quickest right now. And so this is a very dated looking property in Kansas City. And so this is the after. And so the big change is really we painted it. We have, the latest on trend colors, and we put in new flooring, new carpeting. And so it's more on the cosmetic front where we're going to bring in contractors to do paint, flooring, but we'll also do kitchen cabinets. We'll update, countertops, and we may update bathrooms. But we're not knocking down walls and things like that. But again, some of these can be, six-figure jobs. So our home management service is how we started. And again, this is better, just be real upfront, in a slower market. It's harder to do in a really hot market, but it's our most profitable thing that we do at Showhomes. And so again, kind of like an Airbnb model. So you'll take a vacant home that's been on the market for a while that's sitting. We'll then recruit and place what we call a home manager. This is someone or a family looking for temporary housing. And they're going to live in the home while it's for sale. They're going to leave if there's a showing, and they're going to move a few times a year. And so these are people who are highly vetted. We do online checks. We do background checks that are very detailed. And this is not like a typical renter. It's a white collar executive, someone like me or you, looking for temporary housing. And so we get a lot of lawyers, doctors, people who are new to areas. So the value proposition, so why would someone do this kind of lifestyle? There's not a long-term commitment, and for what an apartment costs, they can live in a gated golf course community. So they're going to be paying anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month to live in these homes, and the franchisee gets 100% of that revenue. Now the homeowner is getting someone who's taking care of the property. We're bringing in inventory, and they typically pay at close, whether it's close of the contract or close at escrow when the home sells. And it's typically 1% of the list price. And so if they've moved and they have multiple mortgage payments, this can be a big advantage in a lot of ways. The other big aspect is on the insurance. If a realtor, finds, or not realtor, but if an insurance agent finds out your home is sitting empty, they can, increase your rates 300-400% or cancel your policy. So we not only will cover it with our home management program by having someone living in the home, we also add a $5 million insurance policy up and above what the homeowner has. So that's a huge, huge savings. And so we're going to take a home that looks like this. It looks kind of like a cave, frankly. And this is the after. And, probably one of the bigger aspects of this is you're able to utilize a home manager's inventory a lot of the time. And so everything you see here is from a home manager. You're not having to pay to bring in this inventory. But the lights are on, the heat or air is on, there's food in the pantry, clothes in the closet. So it seems to sell better. Another really unique part of this business is around 40% of our franchisees live as home managers, meaning they live in a home while it's for sale and they don't pay a mortgage or taxes. Now, that's not going to be for everyone. It's not a requirement, but it is an option. And if you're flexible, it can save you a lot of money. So just, a quick overview. Uh, Vacant staging is around 55-60% of our revenue. That's where we'll bring in furniture to a vacant home that's for sale. Our executive home managers, that's where people live in properties, is around 25% of revenue. Our update services, where we're doing minor cosmetic remodeling services, is around 15% of revenue, and our occupied staging is around 5%. But the things I like about this is we've got revenue streams for a hot market or a slow market. I've been at this company 14 years, and we've had a myriad of economic and political situations, and the real estate market has gone up and down. And we've had aggressive growth just about every year. And that's one of the things I really love about this model. But it's also what makes us different than a regular stager. They offer one service, we offer a complete menu, and we are a full service design and staging company. So lead generation is something we spend a lot of time on. So how do you generate leads? How do you make money? And so a lot of our business and a core part of driving those leads is the realtor relationships. And so what you'll find is 8 or 10 realtors will give you, that 80-20 rule, 80% of your business. And so a lot of this is built on building those local relationships. And so we also want you to have an MLS license. We prefer that you have it, but you need to have someone on your staff who has one. You're going to want to have access to the MLS for marketing purposes. There's some states you require a license. Not everyone does for what we do, but again, it's not that complicated to get a real estate license. Frankly, most of the time you can do it online, but it is something you're going to want to get. We also work with a lot of home builders, people like Toll Brothers, and we'll do their model and spec homes. And that's a business that's really growing for us. And so, the home building industry is booming right now. And frankly, they don't want to have to deal with staging properties. And so if you can do their model and spec homes, that can be a nice revenue stream, especially, you can go into a neighborhood and be there for years and just, move it from home to home. So inventory acquisition, and again, that's a major part of Showhomes. This is our biggest revenue or cost of doing business outside of your labor. But we try to show you how to help you buy at wholesale, and so we'll walk you through the process. But most people aren't familiar with wholesale buying, and so High Point, North Carolina, is the big market. That we go to annually. They do 2 shows a year. We also go to Las Vegas, and franchisees love going. So it's a fun experience, but you're going to see all the major manufacturers. And so it's 16 million square feet. So you can imagine 16 or 18 IKEAs all together with the latest inventory. And it is fascinating. And so we have preferred vendors, but we don't require that you buy from us because there are a lot of stylistic changes. Each market is a little different, but we want you to be able to get great pricing. But wholesale, really, just to give you an example, a white sofa like this that you might see at Restoration Hardware or Pottery Barn for, I saw one recently for $2,700, and you could probably get something very similar, if not the same, for $400 or $500. And so the markup is really high. And so we'll show you how to do that. We also buy locally. Home Goods or even Target or TJ Maxx. You're always looking for things, and a big difference between staging and just an average consumer is accessories. So you'll have a lot of accessories, and you're always looking for deals. We'll also buy online, whether it's Wayfair, Amazon, Uttermost, and so those are areas where you can get almost wholesale prices a lot of the time. So once you buy all this stuff, you need to put it somewhere. So you will need warehouse space. So that is part of it. We have training. We'll show you OSHA safety compliance and how to do this. But that is a core part of what we do, because you're going to stage inventory, but you also do what we call destaging. And so you'll start with some self-storage units. You may start with 1 and 2, but at a certain point, after a couple of years, you're going to need to get warehouse space. And so most of our franchisees are getting anywhere from 2 to 5,000 square feet. This is commercial warehouse space. This is a property, warehouse in North Carolina, and they've built this fixture where you can have, 3 sofas, and it has wheels and you can move it around. But again, we are doing large scale moves and on a regular basis. And so we have a smooth move program that we call. We use Rubbermaid containers instead of cardboard boxes. Um, we get shelving from different companies that are out there, especially companies that are liquidating, like Pier One and others who are going out of business right now. But we also utilize inventory tracking software. So we use, if you've heard of RFID technology, where you put tags on all your major pieces, and then you can load it in the truck and wave your scanner on. You know exactly what's in the house. You can also do it by room, and so that is another thing. But over time, you're going to build an inventory of 200 to $500,000, and that's over many years. And you'll start with a suggested inventory of around 20 grand, but over time, you're going to really roll your profits into more and more inventory. You may want to have a truck at a certain point. Most of our people start with like a 2 men in a truck, or a local version of that, where they may pay 75 to $100 an hour. Over time, you may want to get a used truck, or a Penske truck or something like this one. And it's amazing how many people will go to our website or call once they see these moving billboards. So it's a great marketing tool as well. But again, we are doing a larger scale than your average, we call Sally Stager, who's out there. So kind of shifting gears, why would someone buy a franchise? And so again, besides the name and the systems tools, what we're really proud of is our culture. We've really tried to build a family feel. And so you learn a lot from other franchise owners. They become your mentors. We have mentor programs, we have mastermind programs, and you build friendships. And so there's a survey recently by Franchise Business Review of the top franchise cultures, and we're really proud that we are on that list. So when you're buying a franchise, really you're buying, one of the big things is you're buying the name and the credibility. We've been around for 30 plus years. We've been on all the major networks and newspapers. And again, instead of starting from scratch, you've got an established name that helps you not only in the community, but also when you're doing Google searches and people are looking you up. We've had a lot of recognition, and that's one of the things you're going to want to look at is this a legit franchise? The one that we pay the most attention to is Franchise Business Review. And these are third-party surveys of our franchisees. And they ask questions like, are you happy with the investment? Would you do it all over again, et cetera? And so we've won not only their top 50 award each year for the last 12 years, we're actually also in their Hall of Fame. So something we're really proud of. So we are going to give you all the tools to run your business. I heard someone say that in franchising, they do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And so, when you start a franchise, you're starting a business that has proven tools. And so we're constantly bringing in new programs, testing things. But we've also, over 35 years, we've, stubbed our toe and made mistakes like anyone else. And so we know what to do and what not to do, but we have a good idea of what's going to drive revenue to you. So clearly the digital experience is where people are searching. And so the goal is we want people to call you, to submit inquiry forms, and for you to get leads. And so your website is a core piece. So we do updates every couple of years, but we do the management, we do the hosting. It's a customizable website that you can also work on, but on a local level. But we do the search engine optimization, the local listings, and all of the hosting. We have a CRM system to help you manage this business. It's a custom program that really has automated a lot of the programs and connects. There's a lot of software systems and technology at Showhomes, and it's really helped you manage the business and lower the number of staff members you would need. We have over 1,000-page online manual system with everything from all the systems that are required to run the business, the how-to, of everything. The legal contracts, we're on our 8th revision of all of, there's a lot of legal aspects in real estate, the insurance programs, their training videos, it's all searchable and something we update literally every week. We have a lot of software systems, like I was saying, things like Canva. We have an enterprise version where it's has literally thousands of templates that you can create for print or for social media or digital. And our franchisees all share their information here, and all you have to do is edit it. We create content for you, and we have an online magazine. We'll do features on new franchisees. We'll do tips, latest trends, and these are things that you can share in our enterprise email system. And so we'll give you a list of all the franchisees in your area. And again, when we send out these emails, we get the phone ringing like crazy. And so we have a whole variety of marketing tools to help you drive revenue. But besides the marketing aspects, we have a lot of systems that will help you analyze your profitability, like this one. This is a generic screenshot, but we're able to let you see how you compare in sales, cost of sales, your labor, moving. And so that's a big differentiator between us and a regular stager. You're able to analyze your profitability. We've got calculators to show you that will include both your direct and indirect costs to see, are you making money or not? And before we rolled this out, we had people who didn't have an idea, and they were taking jobs that weren't profitable. And so that's one reason you see some stagers who don't make it. They just don't have these kind of back office systems and these tools. So training and support is a critical part of what we do. Most people don't have any experience in real estate or staging. They may have a talent, their friends and family always call them to help them decorate their home or something. And so, but you don't have to have experience in this. And so that's really why you're buying the franchise. And so before you come to classroom training, you'll spend around 8 weeks doing online classes. We have a Showhomes University online program that both for new franchises, but also we have continuing education, and also for when you hire people, that's specific to Showhomes. And so, but you'll also take classes we pay for you to get a home staging certification. There's a company called the Design and Staging Academy, and you'll earn your CPRES, your Certified Professional Real Estate Stager designation. So once you're done with that, then you will attend our classroom training, which we've moved from you spending a week in Nashville to spending 4 days virtually via Zoom calls. And so you'll go through everything about Showhomes, our back office systems, how to generate leads, how to close deals, the legal contracts, the financial aspects, but you'll also go through the final parts of the home staging certification. And so once you've completed it, you're ready to go. And from there, we have a structured 52-week ramp-up program that a director of operations, who will be your coach, your mentor, your psychologist on your bad days, will help you in your ramp-up. And so we have region meetings. Like I was saying, we go to High Point or Las Vegas, and we have an annual conference every year. And that's our biggest event of the year. And so we'll go to places like the Margaritaville Resort in Fort Lauderdale, where we're supposed to go this August. Or we'll go to Nashville, or where our corporate office is located, every other year. And so we'll have guest speakers, we'll have roundtables, we'll have general sessions on the industry, we'll have our awards banquet, and just getting to know other franchisees is invaluable. And then we'll spend time with you in the field as well. So territories, we sell exclusive territories, and that's a big differentiator. A lot of franchises don't. And so it's based on the top 20% of homes in the area. You look at, just as an example, Little Rock, Arkansas, it's half the state, looks like, because it's not very densely populated. Somewhere Chicago is going to be more like 8. And so it's defined by zip code. So we'll work with you on a regular basis on creating the territory. So you know the area better than us. And so we'll look at income levels, we'll look at current number of homes, and then we'll create a exclusive territory for you. So the investment starts at $85,000, although there's probably $2,500, $3,000 that's knocked off of that right now since we've moved to virtual training. Franchise fee is $49,900, and then the startup costs are $35,000. Of that $35,000, $20,000 is for inventory that we think that you're going to need in the first few months. Some of the things that are required by the FTC, like a laptop and an iPhone, you probably already have. And so it can be lower than that, but that's just a general number. The royalty is 10% of gross revenue paid monthly, and the ad fund is 2%. And the ad fund is going to pay for your website and a lot of the marketing tools we talked about. So we don't have a lot of hidden fees. We try to keep this very simple. And again, if you're looking at other franchises, you really need to see what are the total fees they're charging. But again, we try to keep this as simple as possible. So who we are looking for ideally is someone who's passionate, someone who loves real estate, loves design, and they're excited about starting their own business, being their own boss, and scaling and building $1 million business, hopefully. Someone who's full time. This is a hands-on owner operator business. There are a lot of moving pieces, frankly, and it's not a part-time deal. It's just there are some that are out there, but we are a full-time all-in business. And so most of our people are spending 50 plus hours a week working when they're starting. Now, the goal is that you have a team and you're managing it, and you don't have to do that. But this is just the reality. There's a lot going on when you're starting. Someone who can build a team. It's not a business you can do by yourself. And so someone who can build relationships, that's going to be really critical. We'll do a skills assessment, personality profile, and you don't have to be a used car salesman, but you do need to be strong in building relationships. And so we may find that you need to hire someone. And so you need both the skill set of relationship networking, but also the detail aspect. And so we'll work on building your team. And we actually have an executive recruiter who does that full time, and we'll do the testing, and we'll do the job board placement and interviews for you. Someone who can delegate and multitask. If this is a fast moving business, and so the reality is your team needs to be able to handle a lot of the details. And most of the time, the owner is better off focused on building those relationships with builders and realtors and homeowners. Someone who's going to get plugged in and follow systems. And so plugged in not only with show homes and attending our calls and our meetings and conferences, but also they're going to get plugged into the local real estate community. And financially, you need decent credit and a sufficient runway. Our goal is you break even year one, but it's going to take time for you to replace your income. And so you're going to need that runway to cover your bills. It's just a reality with us and really any business. And so there are a lot of financing options out there. There are 401k rollovers. A lot of people have healthy 401ks right now, so you can utilize that. And the big benefit is, again, I'm not an expert, but you don't have to make payments on a monthly basis, and so you do pay it back over time. But there are a lot of advantages there, and there are credit lines out there, but there's also the SBA has some great programs right now that have forgiveness as part of the PPP programs. And so we're pre-registered with SBA. We can also get you connected with a number of preferred vendors who focus on this in the franchise space. So what is Show Homes about? It's a fun business. First off, it's probably the biggest thing. You're able to use the creative side of your brain. There aren't a lot of right brain creative businesses, especially in franchising, and for people who love design and HGTV and going to open houses for fun, this is a great fit for you. It's not a giant investment compared to a lot of franchise. The home based is a big part. If you've had to travel or you've had a job where you had to go to an office, being able to be home based is important. And the lifestyle flexibility is another aspect. And so Marissa Salas in this photo on the right, she was working for her family's jewelry businesses, and she had 2 young kids under the age of 5. And she started this business 13 years ago as a franchisee. She was able to raise her kids and drop them off in the morning, work all day, pick them up, and never missed any event. And so that's the kind of stuff that we really love. But there's also high income potential. The reality is there aren't that many great stagers out there. You've got multiple revenue streams, which I really like, regardless of the economic situation. We've got the ability to generate revenue. You don't need a giant staff. You need a small staff at first, but over time you'll build a team, but it's not like you've got 50 people. there's big demand for our service, and again, it's something that over time referrals are such a big part of our business. You don't have to spend as much on advertising as marketing as a retail brand. So really the next steps would be determine, is this something you want to learn more about? Our sales process is normally around 6 to 8 weeks. And if you're interested, I can send you our initial password protected portal that has our application, our personality profile. We'd review that, and then I would send you our franchise disclosure document. We'd have a call to go through what's included in that. We'd have you talk to franchisees, do your due diligence, do your research, and then we have a meet the team day, which is like a 3-hour Zoom call where you meet my home office team, our CEO, but we'd also go see some franchisees via Zoom. We'll go look at a warehouse and have them walk you through it. We'll go look at a show home and they'll show you how they stage. And so you can ask all the questions, and that's been extremely popular. And then we create agreements and get you started. And so really, just to end this, really, can you envision yourself doing the business? And so this is really what we do. I mean, you're managing teams that stage homes, that make them look like models. We've had people who've left their jobs to do something that they love. This lady on the right, she was an IT director, but she had a creative aspect she was never able to really fulfill. But besides that, you don't have to be a stager. You can manage a team. And here's a group in San Diego. And so it's a husband-wife team. Their dad is also involved. But you can see we're scaling a business that makes a huge impact in your local communities. And so is this something you can see yourself doing? And so if so, definitely reach out, let us know. I hope this has been helpful. We'd love to get to know you better. We'd love to share more about show homes. But again, we've been around for 35 years. The model is extremely hot right now, and we'd love to see if it is a good fit for you. So thank you for your time, and good luck.